sea. Captain of his crew, a brave, ambitious man, determined to explore, he discovered a new land. The sun and sky and his heart would be his guide, a man of valor and pride. The king and queen, their blessings he obtained to carry the flag of Spain. Through tempest and rain, a strong, courageous man, determined to explore, he discovered a new land. With sails raised high, he searched the great unknown, his quest for adventure dispelling any fear. A sure, courageous man, Columbus it was he, who sailed to new horizons across the great blue sea.
Good. Keep her going.
I bet you can't wait to be back at sea.
Not really, Christopher.
When the ship's in her home port, her crew can have a bit of a break. And after this last trip, we need one.
Where'd you go? What did you see?
We sailed to a group of islands called the Canaries. We were out of sight of land for more than a week.
That's far. What's it like?
We saw a volcano erupt, and there's forests and waterfalls.
Right. And birds. The most beautiful birds I've ever seen.
Oh, wow! What color were they?
Blue and red, purple and yellow. As yellow as a field of daffodils.
I wish I'd have been there. Well, what else did you see?
Nothing. Trees and birds, fields and a village. A few small islands on the edge of nowhere.
Do you know what lands lie beyond the Canary Islands?
Don't be silly. The Canary Islands is as far as anyone's ever sailed, and that's far enough, believe me.
Why stop there? The sea keeps on going, doesn't it? So why not keep on sailing?
There'd be no point. There's nothing but sea. No matter how far you go, the ocean sea is endless.
No, it has to end somewhere. We all know that the Earth is round, so if you sail far enough, you'll find land.
How far is far enough? And where would you be when you got there?
Someday I shall go and find out.
Your Majesties, the ultimate goal of all good Catholics is the liberation of Jerusalem and the Holy Land. The wealth I bring back from the Indies will help accomplish that. I beg you, now the war is over, allow me to make my westward voyage.
How long do you estimate your voyage would take after leaving Castile?
Your Highness, according to my calculations, it should take no more than 5 weeks from the time we pass the Canary Islands. With a steady wind, that is, and with your Majesty's blessing, of course.
King Ferdinand, it seems Columbus is on his way to France, if France should win the westward route.
And Portugal has the eastern route. It would be a disaster for our future trade.
That's right, and even if there's no certainty he will succeed, and even if his demands are preposterous, could we forgive ourselves if he did find the route for France?
But, Saint-Angel, his demands aside, outfitting his voyage would require money. And you yourself just reported that the war has left the treasury bare.
Saint-Angel, I want this voyage made, and I want it made badly enough that I'll sell my jewels.
Your Highness, such a generous gesture would finance his voyage with ease.
True, but I'm sure it won't come to that. If I have a word with our wealthier citizens, they'd be honored to invest, I'm sure.
That's all very well, but aren't we panicking too soon? I mean, the chances of Columbus succeeding are slim at best.
And if we send him, we'll have to grant his demands.
His demands? How dare he? But if private funds can keep him with us, I guess I'd agree.
A wise move, sire. It costs you nothing, and he only gets his title if he succeeds.
You know, Father, I think our friend Columbus may sail for Spain yet.
it's a good strong ebb tide, we'll ride it all the way out to open water. All hands stand ready. Take in the slack. Right, now weigh anchor.
Haul in the anchor, men. We're on our way.
We're leaving, boys. Holler it! Up she comes!
Driftwood ahead! Looks like a ship's wreckage, Captain!
Look out! Do you see any ships on the horizon?
No, sir, nothing but water out there! Water and wreckage!
I wonder what broke her up.
Must have been a storm.
A storm, or else a sea monster!
Well, whatever it was, it proves that these waters are dangerous.
September 16th. This evening, just after dusk, a large meteor streaked over our ship and fell with a roar into the ocean. The men are convinced that it's a bad omen.
Hey, I see leaves. We must be getting close to land.
What's that? That's seaweed, not leaves. And I don't think we're anywhere near land.
I don't like the look of it. There's danger in these waters. I'm sure of it. Oh.
Excuse me. We have a problem, sir. Something seriously wrong with the compass.
What?
The helmsman has been steering a course due west, as ordered. So it follows that north should be off the starboard beam, as the compass indicates here. If we look straight off the starboard beam, we should see the North Star, right?
Right.
But in fact, the North Star seems to have shifted in that direction, toward the west. If we can't trust the ship's compass, Commander, then we'll have lost our best navigational tool, and we may be forced to turn back. Commander, the crew members are worried. They believe evil spirits are causing these strange happenings.
There's nothing to worry about. The compass is fine. It's actually the North Star that's moved slightly.
Huh? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. It rotates around the true North Pole.
So our compass is still working?
Yes, it is, and we can still use it to steer the ship. I know some of you have been worrying. But now that I've explained why the compass seemed wrong, you should all finally realize that there is nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing. The men are frightened. Frightened of the ocean. Frightened of the unknown.
I've had it. We're being played for fools. I say we turn back.
And so say I. There's no land here.
We're risking our lives here like idiots and for nothing.
To the captain's quarters! Forward!
I'm afraid we're soon going to have a mutiny on our hands, Commander. The men can no longer be reasoned with. It looks bad. Desperate measures may be needed.
I know.
Captain, show control yourself!
There they are, and it's the same old troublemakers.
You there! What is your quarrel with the captain?
We want to return to Spain immediately!
That's right!
That's so?
I want everyone to listen to me.
It's listening to you that got us into this mess.
Turn this ship home or we will!
Silence, vermin!
He's right! We're wasting our time! There's no land here!
Do you want all your work till now to go for naught? We may be on the very threshold of discovery.
Who cares?
I have the authority of the law of the sea. But I'm prepared to make a deal with you. 3 more days. I solemnly promise, as God is my witness, that if 3 days and nights pass and there is still no land, that on the morning following the 3rd night, we will... You will have what you've been clamoring for. We will turn around and head for home. Any objections?
We have your word?
You have it.
Then we accept.
All right, men. You will go about your duties on board with diligence and goodwill for 3 more days. And with the Lord's help, we shall land in the Indies to find gold and glory.
Captain, you've been on deck for 2 watches. Why don't you get some rest and let someone else take the lookout? You're going to wear yourself out, sir.
I do appreciate your concern, Sanchez. Yes, I am at the end of my strength. But I assure you, if land is to appear somewhere out there, as it must, then I want to see it first with my own eyes. This dream has burned within me for so long now. To think that it might be snuffed out is almost more than I can bear. That's why I mustn't lose hope. Gutierrez.
Captain?
If you've got good eyes, come here a minute.
Yes, sir.
You too, Sanchez. Come look. What does that look like to you, mist or smoke?
It looks like smoke. But from what?
From what looks very much like a fire.
It does indeed look like a fire. Perhaps a signal fire of some kind.
Is it another ship?
Come up higher. Take a good look. It's gone. I don't understand. Exhaustion is probably causing me to hallucinate.
But I saw it too, Captain.
I'll cover the lookout for you, Captain. You need to rest. All of us are depending on your strength and leadership.
You're right. I'm dead on my feet. You there. Huh? I need another pair of eyes on the bow lookout tonight, sailor.
What's so special about tonight, Captain?
We must be near land. I don't want to risk running aground or being blown onto the windward shore.
Does that mean we've spied land, Captain?
Yes, lad. I believe we have. And the first sailor on the Santa Maria who catches sight of land will receive a gold ring and a special commendation to Queen Isabella.
You can count on me.
Good lad. Lord, I am in desperate straits. Please don't make it necessary to turn back. Please show us land. If you mean us to find the Indies, now is the time.
the Pinta, Captain. She's signaling.
I can't see a thing in this darkness. Tell me where you spied the land.
2 points off the port bow. You can see it when the moon comes out from the clouds.
Thank you, Lord.
We were right, Captain. It was over there we saw the fire.
How very fitting that it was you, Captain, who saw it first.
It was the will of God. All hands, we'll ride here at anchor. We go ashore as soon as the sun rises.
Captain!
Such beauty, I can't believe my eyes.
Paradise.
Thank you, dear Lord, for leading us over vast and perilous seas to this safe harbor. Our gratitude knows no bounds. Thanks be to God. All right, we now claim this land for Spain!
Notary, come forward.
Your Royal Highness Queen Isabella, and Your Royal Highness King Ferdinand. We have accomplished the glorious mission with which you in your great wisdom entrusted us. And we hereby take possession of this land which we shall call San Salvador in your majesty's names on October 11th, Anno Domini 1492. Signed Don Christopher Columbus, Admiral of the Ocean Sea, Viceroy and Governor General as appointed by the King and Queen.
Such a glorious, historic day.
Thanks to you, Martin, and you, Vincente. I'd never have done it without you.
Congratulations, Admiral. You have brought honor to Spain and covered yourself with glory.
Thank you.
Christopher, accept my congratulations, too.
We apologize for doubting you.
Now we see that you were right all the time, Captain.
That will do, men. This is no time for recrimination, but for forgiveness. Forgiveness, and thanks to the merciful Lord our Savior who has brought us here to San Salvador. Yes, Sanchez, San Salvador, because it was here our expedition was saved.
Notary, write that down. This land is to be called San Salvador.
San Salvador? Someone's coming! Look!
calm down. He's not armed and he's alone. What can he do? Torres, come here and try to talk to him. Try Hebrew.
אנחנו בו מאספניה. We come in peace. We mean you no harm. אנחנו בו בשלום.
אנחנו בו בחלום, בו בחלום. חלום.
Huh? He doesn't understand. He's just mimicking.
You, present the goods for trading. Here, you like this?
Huh?
It's a hat. Like this.
Kasi kutakidu. Ya. Agadu.
Hmm?
No doing! Like that!
Why, that bird's been spying on us.
This is a cloak. I need it, because it gets cold at sea. Hey, careful! Her Majesty the Queen gave me that.
Queen?
Someone! See to this man's hand, hurry!
Is it possible they've never seen a sword before?
We should be able to conquer these fellows in our sleep.
We have not come here to conquer anyone by force. They need instead to be liberated from ignorance through love, the love of our Lord.
San Salvador!
This island of San Salvador is possessed of a luxuriant beauty. The trees are as green as May in Castilla. The natives are as gentle as children, and we are gradually establishing a trusting friendship with them. But as yet, we have no evidence as to whether or not this is Chipangu. The next morning, we visited their village on the other side of the island.
Sorry, that's it. All gone.
They're giving us nothing but cotton in return. You call this fair?
It's valuable just to know that they grow cotton here.
Didn't Marco Polo write that in Chipangu even the roofs and walls of houses were made of gold? Well then, I suggest we start looking for some of that gold as we promised the king and queen.
Yes, I know. All in good time.
Captain, take a look at this nose ring.
That's a gold hoop. But where does it come from?
There's a large island to the west of this one. The natives say they have seen even bigger gold bracelets and anklets over there.
What are we waiting for? Let's go.
I'll lead the way. We have set a course for the Chibao. It's not far, but we must proceed with great caution. The current is strong and there are many treacherous reefs in these waters. I've assigned only the most experienced men to the key posts. The crew is exhausted, but we can't drop anchor until we're sure it's safe.
You, lad, come here.
Yes, what is it? What do you want?
Ugh, I can hardly stand up. Take the rudder just for a moment, will you?
No!
Oh, don't worry, nothing will happen. Just do as I say. Come on now. There. Now just move the rudder gently so the pole star stays right where it is. Understand? While I catch a quick nap.
French ship! Over the side! Hurry!
Jump! We'll pick you up! Come on!
I'm sorry, Captain.
Don't worry. I know it wasn't your fault, but hurry, over the side. I won't go until I know you're all safe.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha, sir! Go! Get away from her in case she tips!
One good thing, she's stuck on the reef. If she's still there at dawn, we'll try to get her cargo ashore, as much as we can manage. Thank heavens we're not far from land.
But, Captain, it'll take much too long. We only have a few small boats for that.
True, but we'll ask Guacanagari for help since he's friendly.
Friendly or not, how can he help, sir? These natives are primitive.
They have their dugouts. They'd be fine for the job. We could just borrow them if we have to.
Huh?
All right now, Gutierrez, go ashore with Harana, Torres, and the interpreters. Ask the natives to help us move the cargo.
We're on our way, Captain.
Senor Sanchez, we're back!
Admiral, Torres is back, and he has company, sir.
Really?
Look at them all. Your idea looks like it's going to work.
Admiral, Guacanagari cooperated. He sent every man he could spare to help us unload the Santa Maria. He seems very friendly indeed, sir.
Vincente, lower a boat, and I'll go aboard the Santa Maria and supervise the unloading and dismantling operation from there.
Right away, Captain. Lower a boat, sailors! We start unloading the Santa Maria at once!
Guacanagari has put these 3 huts at our disposal. They'll accommodate us all in comfort, sir.
Huts as well. His generosity is welcome indeed. Hmm? What is that?
They call it a hammock, sir. You sleep in it. We're told they're very comfortable.
A hammock? Huh. For primitive natives, these people seem very civilized to me. I hope the men will be wise enough to treat them well.
Your dress uniform. You must think highly of this Guacanagari. You could greet royalty in that.
Well, Guacanagari is royalty to his people, and he's treated us like kings.
Excuse me. Guacanagari has arrived, Admiral.
Already? Welcome aboard, sir. Admiral Christopher Columbus at your service.
Torres,
He says he's sorry about your ship and will help however he can. I'm new at this, but I think I've got it right, sir.
Thank him from the bottom of my heart. Please, a token of my gratitude. Here. Let me help you put it on. Now the gloves are next.
He thanks you and asks if you'd like to join him for a meal, sir.
Tell him I'd be honored to dine with him, Torres.
But, Admiral, why do you want to go back to Spain now, if you don't mind my asking?
Now we know there's gold here, even if we don't know how much. But we're sailors, not miners. We need to bring engineers, carpenters, and materials from home. But mostly, we need ships. We can't all search for gold on just the Nina.
But can we all return on her, sir?
No, but I want half of us to stay on here and establish a colony. We'll use the wood from the Santa Maria to build a fort and equip it with the cannon. When we return, we'll bring what we need to make it our base of operations.
Admiral, I'd like to be among those who remain. We know there's gold here now, and I'm not going back till I get my hands on some.
I'll stay on here too, Captain, to maintain discipline.
Very well. I'm sure we'll find enough volunteers among the men to set up a secure colony. We'll start construction on the fort tomorrow.
Javier, ayúdame. Ven aquí. Tome eso. Cuidado por aquí.
Once the fort is completed, only one important task will remain: to find the Pinta and Martin Pinzon so he can accompany us back to Spain.
And when that's
Harana!
done,
If our return voyage to Spain is as smooth as our westward crossing, then I can assure you I will return with reinforcements in good time, Harana. And you, in the meantime, will take charge of the Fort of Navidad in my place. You're in command, Harana.
I understand, Admiral. And as Chief Guard appointed by their Majesties the King and Queen, I promise to fulfill my duties to the very best of my ability.
And you, Gutierrez, and you also, Escobedo, I'm entrusting you in my absence with the safeguarding of these newly claimed lands. Don't fail me. I trust that there will be no mistakes.
Have faith, Admiral. When you next set foot on this island, you will see all these barrels filled to overflowing with gold. And that's a promise, sir.
Admiral, I implore you to impress upon their majesties just how much we've managed to accomplish here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to admit it, but I've developed a soft spot for the Admiral. I'll miss you, my friend, but I've decided to go with him on this voyage.
I think you're crazy, but I'm sure you'll return, and when you do, there'll be a barrel of gold waiting for you. You'll see.
Admiral!
Huh?
We've just had news of Captain Pinzon.
Really? Tell me, Torres, what is it?
Well, apparently, one of Guacanagari's subjects saw the Pinta leave an inlet to the east. I believe it was 2 days ago.
Perhaps he set sail for Spain, hoping that if he arrives there before we do, he can claim the discovery of Chipangu for himself. Sounds like Pinzon to me.
Yes, and if we want to catch him, we must leave as soon as possible.
Good luck. We'll be back soon.
Don't hog all the gold for yourselves, mates!
On January the 4th, 1493, we departed from the island of Hispaniola.
Yes?
Land dead ahead! Looks like the shore of Spain, sir.
Oh, there it is! We're home, boys! Yeah! We're home! Hey, put me down! Boys in Spain! We've done it! We're home! I knew we'd make it!
Oh, dear Lord, thank you for bringing us safely back home again.
March 15th, 1493. After a voyage of 225 days, we have returned to Palos. I have proved that my theory was right. The Indies can be reached by sailing west across the ocean.
Raise the royal ensign!
Hooray for Admiral Columbus!
Most royal sovereigns, I come before you today to report on my successful expedition to the Indies.
Admiral, please sit before us.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Admiral Columbus, we congratulate you. The success of your expedition gratifies us most highly. The fact that you had to struggle for many years before finally securing the permission you needed to cross the ocean only adds luster to your great triumph.
Thank you for those kind words, Your Majesty.
I have more than kind words to offer you today, Admiral. The King and I have decided that we will sponsor a second expedition to the Indies. Can we count on you to be its commander?
It would be an honor, Your Majesty.
As you are undoubtedly aware, the King of Portugal is also sponsoring voyages to the Orient, but he has opted for the eastern route around Africa. A race is on between his country and ours. You must win that race and claim the heathen lands of Asia for Spain.
Are you confident in your ability to do what we ask?
Yes, I know I'll succeed.
Admiral,
Yes?
what's the fastest way to Asia?
Well...
Go on, Admiral. Tell her.
All right. The fastest way to Asia is to head west. Just like the sun up in the sky. Think you can remember that?
Mm-hmm. Next time you go there, I'll go too.
Huh?
On September 25th, 1493, the second expedition to the Indies set out. Under my command were 17 ships and 1,500 men. The crowd that assembled for our send-off was huge and enthusiastic. On Sunday, November 3rd, we made our first landfall on an island that I named Dominica. From there, we sailed to an island I named Guadalupe after the church where I made my pilgrimage. Then it was on to Hispaniola, where 39 men from our first voyage had stayed behind and founded the settlement of Navidad. But where the settlement had stood, we found charred ruins and the signs of a pitched battle. The men of Navidad, driven by greed and arrogance, had abused the island's inhabitants in their quest for gold. The angry inhabitants finally attacked Navidad and killed every one of the 39 men who had built it, including my friend Diego de Hirana. On May 30th, 1498, I led a third expedition westward across the ocean, When I arrived in Hispaniola, I found that rebellion had broken out in the settlement of Navidad. My efforts to restore order only seemed to fan the flames of resentment, until a royal envoy named Francisco de Bobadilla arrested me and returned me to Spain in irons, stripped of my titles and my dignity. Only after weeks of written entreaties did I obtain an audience with the Queen and the restoration of my titles. My fourth and final expedition began on May 9th, 1502. But bad weather and misfortune dogged the voyage from beginning to end. On November 7, 1504, I arrived back in Spain. My hope of finding the fabled wealth of the Indies seemed as distant as ever. At the end of that year, Queen Isabella, my greatest patroness, left this world. Now, less than 2 years later, many scholars and seafarers are suggesting that the lush, wild lands I discovered are not the Indies at all, but rather part of a vast continent previously unknown to the geographers of Europe. They call this continent the New World. Now, on May 20th, 1506, my life draws to a close. What fame I might once have enjoyed has long since been eclipsed by names like Da Gama and Vespucci, and in the final hours of my life, only a few relatives are on hand to mark my passing. I commend my soul into the hands of the Lord. If there is a lesson to draw from my life, it is surely that the human spirit reaches its highest expression when it is imaginative and resourceful, when in the face of adversity and discouragement, the soul does not waver nor the will relent in the determined pursuit of a dream.